The Pastor's Message, April 2017. The day the sun stopped shining. Easter is coming, a day filled with joy, life, and hope. But before Easter, we must go through Good Friday, the day the sun stopped shining. The Bible tells us that from noon until 3 in the afternoon, darkness came over all the land. The earth shook and the rocks split. Matthew 27, verses 45 and 51. Darkness came over the land, symbolizing God's displeasure at the mistreatment of his Son at the hands of sinful men. Worst by far, however, was the divine darkness that fell upon Jesus as God the Father meted out on him the just punishment for our sins. When all was said and done, we're told that the earth shook and the rocks split, signaling the fulfillment of Christ's redeeming work. So filled with weight and importance was this day that God the Father let all creation join in recognition of what was happening. One pastor comments on Christ and his cross this way: "Nowhere is the quiet majesty of Jesus more apparent than in his passion. He was the victim, and yet, as his disciples noted, he was also somehow completely in control." True, some very horrible things happened to Jesus, and yet none of it happened apart from God's full knowledge and authority. As true God, Jesus was in complete control that day. "Behold, we are going up to Jerusalem. The Son of Man will be delivered over. They will condemn him to death, to be mocked and flogged and crucified." Matthew 20, verses 18 and 19. Jesus, not his enemies, determined the time of his betrayal and arrest. "Rise, let us go," he said after he finished praying. "Here comes my betrayer." Matthew 26, verse 46. And Jesus went out to meet him. Even as they arrested him, Jesus was in charge. "Put your sword back in its place," Jesus said to Peter. "Do you think I cannot call on my Father, and he will at once put at my disposal more than 12 legions of angels? But how then would the scriptures be fulfilled that say it must happen in this way?" Matthew 26, 52 through 54. Yes, Jesus was in complete control of things that day at Calvary. Let it be a standing reminder to us that all our times are in his hands. When our days turn gloomy and dark, we know Jesus is in control. Every moment he is working out his divine plans in our lives. Abiding in him and his word, we find strength and direction to get through all things. No hole is too deep, no situation too grave that he can't turn things around. He does more than just help us cope, too. He strengthens and transforms us into his disciples. He enables us to serve him with a new focus. He gives us some of his divine determination and focus to sustain us as we seek to help and serve others, that they, along with us, may safely arrive one day in heaven's glory, where there will be no more night, and we will reign forever and ever. Revelation 22:5. This Good Friday, let's join with all creation, the angels, and God's family of believers to worship Jesus, reflecting on the darkness of sin, rejoicing in the victory he won, and being renewed to serve him in the joy of our salvation.